Started, right? Must have started. So you, I reckon, will be able to see me. Hello, everybody out there in internet world.
I don't see it. Oh no, wait, here it is, live.
Live in internet world. Yeah, that's me, isn't it? Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm streaming. I'm only 15 minutes late. It's getting worse, isn't it? This is almost entirely my fault, though, because not only did I have some problems starting the stream, but I also started a game of Signatures of the Game, the Guild Pact, a little bit late, and I had to destroy 5 creatures. So, my apologies. Welcome, welcome. Edge of Eternities. Was I going to waffle a bit about Planar Chaos? Yes, let's waffle a bit about Planar Chaos. Planar Chaos is the new event. I've had a chance to play it, and I'll be honest, I kind of don't mind it, right? It's obviously a reskin of Battles from the Ages, isn't it? It's got all the old Battles from the Ages levels in it. I mean, it seems to have. I'm not going to put money on the fact that it's got absolutely every single one, but it seems to have loads of them, including some of the really hard ones. It's got a bunch of supposedly PvP, actual planeswalkers with very good decks. Well, I say good decks. Decks with very good cards in them. Some of the decks are a bit ropey, but some of the decks are very good. I lost a game the other day, yesterday it will be, against Jace Reawakened. That was a nasty deck. He had ambiguity going on, and that was making me discard things. So opinions are pouring in about Planar Chaos, and yeah, honestly, I kind of don't mind it. I don't mind the fact that you need to play a different type of deck. So in order to be able to get through 400 life, I can't play my normal standard deck and get through 400 opponent with 400 life. It just takes me too long. I could, admittedly, just throw like one extra card into it. It's Dakon. I could throw a Bloodghast into it, and I could get through higher life totals a lot quicker. But it encourages me to go and play a slightly different deck that can actually get through really high life totals and hasn't just been tuned to get through a normal opponent. So there's that. I don't mind the fact that, you know, the PvP, in inverted commas, opponents are quite good. They're a bit of a challenge. I want a bit of a challenge every so often. Don't want too much of a challenge all the time on the dailies, necessarily. But I like a bit of a challenge all the time. So as far as I'm concerned, it's okay, you know? The PvE encourages me to do a thing. The PvP gives me a little thing to play against. As far as I'm concerned, it's okay. It's a bit mean to new players, though, isn't it? Isn't it? It seems like it. I think somebody said on the forums, somebody pointed out on the forums earlier that, like, we've already got a daily event that's mean to new players, and that's Trial of the Plains. Trial of the Plains absolutely batters newbies if they go in there, don't they? So we tell them not to go in there, don't we? We say don't go in there because it costs crystals, and you'll lose an awful lot because people are just playing the fastest and most obscene legacy decks they can. So I think Trial of the Plains is a little worse to new players than Planar Chaos, but Planar Chaos seems a lot harder for newbies than Revolving Planeswalk. So that really only leaves them with Quick Battle, and there's nothing really wrong with Quick Battle, but the rewards, as we all know, are not good for Quick Battle. Yeah? If you're not playing all of the dailies, it's Quick Battle's the first one that you don't play, isn't it? Because the rewards aren't so good. Well, to be honest, I do play Legacy Quick Battle because I can fly through it sometimes, but I don't play Standard Quick Battle because I can't fly through it, you know? And the rewards are not good. So, yeah. I'm not sure it's a good idea to have such a mean daily event that new players can't play when there's already a mean daily event that new players can't play. I don't really like the fact that it's a PvE. It's largely a PvE. In fact, it is. You could say it's all a PvE, couldn't you? Because all of the Planeswalker decks that have been built, they're all the same. We're comparing notes on these things, and you know, everyone who plays Jace Reawakened is playing against the same Jace Reawakened deck, and the same for Nissa, and the same for who else is this? I think there's a Sorin doing the rounds. There's quite a few anyway. So they're basically kind of PvP. You get a lot of variety, don't you? You get variety playing against actual PvP opponents. You don't necessarily lose against them, but you know, you get to see new cards. They might give you ideas of things you might want to put in your deck yourself, and occasionally you get surprised by a new thing. And that's not going to happen with PvEs after a certain while. And remember, this event probably going to be in the game for the next 3 years until it rotates out, depending on how they update it or don't. It feels like it's going to get a bit stale. So I don't mind it at the moment for me, but it does feel like it's going to get a bit stale in no time. I feel like, you know, in order to give me personally a bit of a challenge, rather than giving me, you know, some fairly well-tuned Planeswalker decks to play against in Planar Chaos, I would much rather they just sorted out the bloody matchmaking, generally, and had me play against, you know, better non-random human opponents who are building a variety of decks. That's what I would prefer. And they do need to update the matchmaking, don't they? That is a thing that needs to be done. And I feel like Planar Chaos has kind of been done instead of that, and I don't like that. What's the other thing I don't like? I'm sure there's a third thing I don't like about Planar Chaos, but it's not coming to mind at the moment. So, swings and roundabouts, really, about Planar Chaos at the moment. Sarah's with me here again. Say hi, Sarah.
Hello.
There you go. Sarah's there in the background. She's doing my bidding in the background of the stream. So, shall we crack on? I just wanted to have a little bit of a ramble about Planar Chaos. There's a thread up about it on the forums. Please go and give your constructive criticism. I know, if you go to the forums and you say, I don't like something, all the fucking people on the forums, they'll go, fuck off, we don't like you, we think Webcore are really fucking great. I know, but it's literally the only way that Webcore are ever going to get any feedback. So do go and tell them what you don't like about Planar Chaos. Let's let it get a bit better. I remembered what the third thing is. The third thing is the fact that you only get 2 losses. And I kind of feel like it would be nicer to new players if it just had unlimited charges and they could just keep playing, because I'm only going to play 5 or 6 matches on it. I would say 5. I did lose a game against that Jace Reawakened deck the other day. It's quite good. So I had to play 6 matches the other day. You know, if you just gave it unlimited charges, then at least a newbie could throw themselves at it until they eventually got through it. But I'm not sure that necessarily solves the problem of it being hostile to newbies, because they might just find it an interminable slog. Anyway, go provide feedback on Planar Chaos and we'll see if we can knock it into some kind of shape, shall we? So that was... Apologies if I said all that on the last stream as well. I don't think I did. Let's head into the cards. Where did we get to? Edge of Eternities. In alphabetical order. Yes, please. I've got a couple more cards. It's not really... I feel like it's not going to take me long to get a load of cards for this set. Look how many more cards I've got since the other day. Because they're giving away all these packs in Planar Chaos. Right, obviously I like the fact that the rewards are good in Planar Chaos. That's fine, but that's such a boring criticism of an event to give, isn't it? I like more free stuff, isn't it? I mean, it's obvious. We like more stuff, we don't like less stuff. So it doesn't really bear saying about it, does it? But, you know, it is nice that I'm going to get loads and loads of cards for... Edge of Eternities. Watch out, by the way, watch out for that new combo with Pinnacle Emissary and... what's it called? Pinnacle Emissary and some other card. I can't remember. Sharp-Eyed Rookie. There you go. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's nasty. We hope it gets a nerf. Shall we actually look at some of these cards. Right, what I've got to do is show all cards. That's why I'm confusing myself. We got to Beyond the Quiet, apparently, didn't we? Yes, we did. I remember that, actually. Yes. It's a Wrath of God. It's not particularly good. Yeah, so let's head on to Bioengineered Future. And I will put my glasses on so I can read what the hell is on my screen, because I am an old man. When this support enters the board, creates a lander token. Now, we've encountered lander tokens already. Yeah, we encountered one just at the end of the last one. We did not like them. So lander tokens suck. They are bad lands. So this costs 11 mana, Colours of Magic, rare. Create a lander token, which is a sucky land. And then landfall, a random creature you control gets +1/+1. Rubbish. Don't like it. Biomech and Engineer. When this creature enters the battlefield or is reinforced, create a lander token. I don't like this wording. Where would they come up with this wording now from? When it enters the battlefield or is reinforced. It is unnecessary words, in my opinion. Create a lander token, then draw a card. When this creature dies, create a robot token, then draw it. So 15 mana for a 2/2 and a rubbish land, and then another 2/2 that does nothing. Couple of cards, no mana in them, not very good. Biosynthetic Burst, 11 mana again. Target creature you control gets +1/+1. Reach, trample and prevent damage. Reach and prevent damage. That's nearly a thing. I do like the way they've not done the haste thing. Not the haste thing, what's it called? The flash thing. They haven't done the flash thing, because I don't like flash. Flash, it kind of sounds good, and we kind of like the idea of flashing a land into play, but because it's been put into the game so badly, I'd much rather just this mechanic here, where you cast it on your turn and it lasts until the beginning of your next turn. I think it's much more elegant. That's the solution that Hibernum came up with when they made the game. There's all kinds of things in, well, there's at least one thing in Origins that does that. I prefer it. This card isn't very good. We move on. Biotech Specialist. So is that not a Drizzt then? No, that's some kind of insect, isn't it? There's some insect, but they don't have a race. We had the race of Drizzt, didn't we, the other day? I'm just hunting through them. Oh, is that related to the Eldrazi? Drix, not Drizzt. Sorry. Drix, are they related to the Eldrazi? Is that why they're called Drix? Is it something like that? They're obviously white. Okay, and the insects are green. And they presumably have a race name as well. But they're not going to give them that because they wanted to interact with insects. That's fine. The white does this. White has like cores and vex and things, doesn't it? White's always making up its own bloody creature types. Bloody white. When this creature enters... Oh, no, not more landers. This is a 6 mana 1/3. And you get a lander. When an artifact card you control leaves the battlefield, deal 2 damage. Wow. 2 damage to an opponent's planeswalker. This effect can trigger up to 3 times. Yeah, that's rubbish. Blade of the Swarm. When this creature enters the battlefield, this creature gets +2/+2. Right. Why isn't it a 5/3? That's what we're wondering about there. So this is an insect, but he's black. The thing, I'm just trying to put this together in my head. As far as I'm aware, the theme of the set is there are like 5 planets in outer space, and that's 1 planet per color. Yeah, there are 5 planets, and then you get. But there are insects apparently on black, and insects on green, and maybe a little on red there. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we're going along. This is a plant scorpion. Oh, I like it. Look, it's got Venus flytrap hands. I really like the design on that thing. This is a Death Touch creature, which of course matters in paper and doesn't matter in Puzzle Quest. Thanks very much. When it enters the battlefield, target creature you control gains Death Touch until end of turn. Yeah, I mean, you could say you could put that onto something, but it could just be a better card, couldn't it? Bombard, deal 5 damage to target creature. Nope, finite amount of damage. We don't like it. It goes away. Target creature as well. I mean, come on. Bright Spear Zealot, human soldier. When you cast your second cast each turn, that's Celebrate, isn't it? This creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. Right, it can be a 4/4. I don't mind a 6 mana 4/4. That would be okay, wouldn't it? I don't mean that would be good. I just mean don't write all of those words on the card. You're with me on that, yeah? Right. Brood Guard Elite. 12 mana 1/1 Defender. Okay. When this creature enters the battlefield, it's going to get bigger. That's good. It's going to need to do that. This creature is +X/+X. When it dies, your first creature gets +X/+X. Target creature warp. Target creature gets +X/+X engage defender. Yeah, okay, right. So warp, it seems to be, the way that warp seems to work is that you either put the creature in play and it's the creature and it does what the creature does, or you kind of cast it as a spell that does what the creature does and you don't get the creature. That seems to be like the flavour of warp to me, because we've seen a few of these cards now. X is the number of creatures you control, including their reinforcement. Does anyone care? I don't think anyone cares about that. Yeah? Are you excited by the fact that you get like quite a large defender if you already had a very large stack of creatures that aren't going to die? No, don't think so. Doesn't even cost 11. Look, at 11, you could play it in Colours of Magic, couldn't you? And it would do interact interestingly with the tokens. I still wouldn't like it, and I still wouldn't play it. But no, 12 is bad. Make it cost 11. Cerebral Download, Surveil X. Now, everyone except Zibert thinks this is going to break when it actually gets played in the game. But Zibert has confidence that it is not. Surveil X, we think Surveil X, when you try and select more than 4 cards, we think it's going to break. But Zibert thinks it's going to work right. And do you know what? He's probably right as well, because he's always right about everything. Hello, Zibert. How are you doing? Anyway, Surveil X. X is the number of artifact supports you control, including your reinforcements. So, you're looking at the top 4 cards of your library. You're picking some of them, depending on how many artifact supports you control. Then you draw 3 cards. It costs 15 mana. It does not generate any mana. It is a shit card. Corral of the Void. This one has been spoiled. I forget who had this. It's okay. Let us see. 50 mana 1 shield. We don't like the 1 shield. At the beginning of the combat on your turn. So straight away, in fact, after you cast it. Return the last creature or support card from your opponent's graveyard into play under your control. At the end of your turn, if a creature or support was destroyed, exiled, or a warp effect triggered this turn, reinforce this support. I don't think warp is worth it. We've seen this a lot. We've seen this clause. If a creature or support was destroyed, exiled, or a warp effect triggered this turn, do a thing. I don't think it's worth it. I don't think it's worth all those words. I think it makes no difference. Just have it be if a thing leaves. It's like Morbid, isn't it? Morbid was if a creature dies. And this effect here, which I'm sure has a name in paper, but doesn't seem to. Isn't it called Void in paper? Is it called Void in paper? I think it might be called Void, this effect. I don't think it's worth having the warp effect. I mean, it has it in paper, and they want to copy it across. Just don't think it's worth all the extra words on the card. So what have we got? We've got a few things here, haven't we? We're in Mana Filler Giver territory, because we're getting a free card into play every turn, technically. But there are some caveats on that. Number 1 is it's coming out of your opponent's graveyard. So we've got to make sure there are actually some cards in there, or it's not going to do anything. Number 2 is it's only got 1 shield, which is not good. And I'll tell you what's not good as well. 2 shield is not good. What you can do is you can put this in your hand, yeah, and then you can like cast it, and then on the same turn kill an opponent's creature, yeah, and then what will happen then is that at the beginning of combat on your turn you will return that creature to play that you killed, and then this will gain a shield, won't it? Because it will reinforce. So that gives you, you've played 2 cards then, you've got a creature out of your opponent's graveyard, you've killed one of your opponent's creatures, you've put this up to 2 shield. 2 shields is still not really good enough. That is my major problem with it, I think. Given that we have mana filler givers that, like, give you a thing and don't fucking drop dead. Didn't we get one in Duskmourn? Wasn't there a mana filler giver in Duskmourn that had 2 shield? I believe it was the flip side. I want to say Charred Room, Charred Lobby, something like that. It was on the flip side of a room card, and it did mana filler giver things, but it only had 2 shield and it cost 20 mana, and I've never seen anybody play it. So yeah, that's the thing. Obviously 1 shield is bad, but yeah, pumping it up to 2 shields still quite bad. So I feel like that's the killer, is not enough shield. Honestly, if it came into play with 2, which I wouldn't like, and then pumped itself up to 3, which I quite would, I think that would be a huge boost to the card. As it stands, I mean, given that it's not mana filler giving me my own cards into my hand, but ones from Greg's graveyard, which I've got to find a way of putting there. As it stands, it's not one of the better versions of this card. But it's alright. It gets to be better than high shteev. Yeah, it does. It's a bit mid though. It's a bit mid in my opinion. Chrome Companion. Oh my gosh, look! What have they done to my boy? She's got all wheels and things now. It's failure, isn't it? Artifact Dog. When this creature attacks, gain 1 life. I mean, you could say that a 3 mana 2/1 is good stats. You could say that. But there's no... Oh, I like the way... Look, I've just seen down the bottom. Available for Avatar VIP only. Yeah? You should get... That's quite a good avatar, that, isn't it? So, there are things that I like about this card. Yeah? 3 mana for a 2/1 would have been good in 2016. Not anymore. It's been a long time since that's it. So I like the fact that that would have been good 10 years ago. And I like the fact that you can use it as the avatar. So, all things considered... Oh, and I like the art generally. All things considered, I consider this common card, that is rubbish, to be a hit. Close Encounter. Deal X damage to target opposing creature. Well, this is just shit, isn't it? I don't even need to read what X is, because this is a creature removal spell that costs 13 and might not kill something. When we have a game full of creature destruction spells that cost less than 13 and do kill things, like Snuff Out. There's one, for example. That's in standard all the time, isn't it? And Unholy Hunger. There you go. And doesn't... what's the thing with zombies? I don't know. Cruel Revival. Doesn't that work these days? You don't need a zombie in the... You used to have a zombie in the graveyard for Cruel Revival to work, and you don't need to anymore. So whatever X is, I'm not even going to waste my time reading what X is. This is a rubbish card. X is equal to the total warp value of the creature. Yeah, I thought I'd just better check, just in case, just in case X at the bottom said X is equal to you win the game or something, I thought I just might check. No, it's rubbish. We go on. Cloud Sculpt Technician. As long as you control an artifact, this creature gets +1, +0. Ooh. Okay, now I notice we're blue though, and blue is obviously the space jellyfish colour. And I'm happy with that. That seems fine. I'll take Space Jellyfish in blue. Bad card. Code Cracker Hound. Right, is blue the colour of dogs as well? No, because this was an artifact. Well, of course Failure is an artifact dog, because she's a robot. Fair enough. So why dogs? Obviously whoever's designing this set has a dog. That's all I can say. Pick one of the first 2 cards from your library. Remember this wording. We're going to get to an amusing card later on. Pick one of the first 2 cards from your library, fetch that card and destroy the others. This is a 7 mana 2/1. On Warp 4, pick one of the first 2 cards from your library, fetch that card and destroy the others. It doesn't. Give it any mana. We've already got the Talent of the Telepath. Talent of the Telepath isn't even really any good anymore, so it's rubbish. Comet Crawler. This is a reasonably cheap lifelinker. I mean, look, that's quite good compared to Orchard Spirit, isn't it? Compare that to a vanilla 6 mana 2/2, a 5 mana 2/3 with lifelink. Again, this is the kind of creature I would have been quite fond of in 2016 when I was first putting my... Do you remember putting your collection together right at the start of the game? And you start playing black and you're like, my God, this colour really sucks compared to all the other colours. Well, it did, didn't it? It was so bad compared to everything else. There was some stuff in black, but it all kind of started at rare. Like Unholy Hunger, for example, was at rare. Cruel Revival, as we just mentioned, didn't actually work in case of, unless there was a zombie in your graveyard to get back. So you were stuck with things like Fleshbag Marauder, which I have played, but not in a while. So yes, in 2016 I'd have liked this. It does some more as well. Let's have a look. When this creature attacks, you may destroy target token creature you control. Well, I don't really want to do that. If you do, this creature gets +2/+0 until end of turn. So yeah, just keep doing it, Webcore. Keep pumping these creatures up above the curve. They've got a long way to go before they become good, but they're at least better than they were, 6 months ago. Command Bridge. Oh, it's the one shield is the problem there, isn't it? At the beginning of your turn, convert 2 gems to your Planeswalker's colours for 4 mana. I mean, you'd have been quite happy mastering that. Even if it had 2 shield, you'd have been quite happy mastering that. The killer on that card is the 1 shield, I mean, obviously not as good as, any of the good lands that we've got, But, yeah, that would have been comparable to and an upgrade for the Origins lands, which I'm sure there are some players out there who are still having to struggle through playing those Origins dual lands. But the 1 shield unfortunately kills that card stone dead. Oh, we're here already. Look at this. Okay, so you may remember me calling your attention to Code Cracker Hound. It says pick one of the first 2 cards from your library, fetch that card and destroy the others, right? So, consult the star chart, says pick one of the first 4 cards from your library. Don't do anything with it. Just pick it. That's it. Wait, there's more. If you do a kick of 5, it says pick 2 of the first 4 cards from your library. Don't do anything with those either. Just pick them. I mean, it doesn't even say they're going to be face up, does it? You might just point at the top of your library and go, that one, and then move on. I mean, I see what they've done. Yes, I'm sure they intended for you to put those cards in your hand. I just find that very, very amusing. Is it good? No, it's obviously like a worse Talent of the Telepath. So, Cosmogoyf. I mean, this sounds good, doesn't it? Does it sound good? Is a Cosmogoyf a Tarmogoyf that is like really, really massive, or is it a Tarmogoyf that requires a massive amount of things to be in your graveyard? Because the two are kind of opposites, aren't they? So let's find out. So 10 mana 1/1. I like that art better than that art, I think. Which art do you prefer? They're both quite good, aren't they? This has got like I see a kind of a Giga thing. I'm getting like a little bit of an alien influence here. Whereas this is more of an H.P. Lovecraft, isn't it? I think I prefer the Great Old Ones theme to it. It's an elemental Lurgoyf. I like it. I've always liked Lurgoyfs. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, this creature gets +X/+X. X is the number of cards in your exile, up to 10. Okay. I mean, it's just fat. Long-running visitors to my set reviews will know I don't like things that are just fat. But it can get quite fat. I bet Goz likes this card. I bet the Johnnies like this card. The problem with us spikes is the fact that, if you burn it out on turn 1, it is not big because you've not had time to put things into your exile. That's the thing. So, in the late game, it's going to be quite easily getting +10/+10 every single turn. But in the early game, see, this is why people like me are spikes. This is why we like mystical teachings, because we can burn it out on turn 1 and it goes nuts. Whereas if we burn this out on turn 1, it is a 1/1 and remains that way for a while. I mean, I suppose you can exile all the rest of the cards in your hand, but it's not really worth it, is it? This is okay. Are we going to say high shit tier? Does it get to be better than high shit tier? It's around that level though, isn't it? It's very high shit tier. I'm not sure it breaks out of shit tier, to be perfectly honest, as far as I'm concerned. For that reason, it ought to. I suppose it ought to, because if the game does go long, this will start getting very, very fat. So yeah, go on. This could be somewhere above shit tier. Well done, Cosmogoyf. You have escaped the bottom of the table. But I don't like it that much. And it's simply just because late game it might be good, early game it is not. Cosmogrand Zenith. Is that a name? Is Cosmogrand a rank? Yeah? Is that character there Cosmogrand Zenith? She seems to have blonde hair in one picture and dark hair, or is it just how it's lit in that one? I don't know. Maybe it's a character. Oh, well, it's not a legend, so maybe it's not. Because maybe a Zenith, maybe a Cosmogrand Zenith is a type of soldier that runs around the Cosmogrand being a Zenith. I don't know. When you cast your second card each turn. Oh, okay, they've decided to go all in on Celebrate, apparently. I mean, they could have made it Celebrate, couldn't they? Seems weird that they wouldn't, but it does save you tapping on the icon to find out what those little glasses do. So whatever. When you cast your second card each turn, create a soldier token. Then your creatures get +2/+4 and vigilance. It's permanent. I mean, this is definitely high shit tier, isn't it? Yeah? It's a card. It's a creature. It creates some more creatures. It pumps up both creatures when it pumps up. It's definitely high shit tier, but no better than that at all. Because that soldier's going to be a 1/1. Yeah. So, and you know, if you really are casting 2 cards every single turn, play better ones than that. That's my advice to you. Cryogen Relic. How are we doing for time? We've got plenty of time. We started late, didn't we? So we can overrun a little bit. Cryogen Relic. Activate 1. Don't like it. Disable target creature until the beginning of your next turn. Right, well, so we need some higher numbers there. That's obviously a decent effect. That's a prism array effect, but activate 1 is terrible. We'd like at least, what would we like? We'd like at least 5, but like on a common, you can't really expect an activate 5 on an effect by that. But I think they could have put 3 on it, couldn't they? Could have put activate 3 on it. Then, oh my god, then destroy this support. Fuck off! Oh, I was thinking it stays in play and does it every turn. No, it doesn't even do that. Activate 1. You can see what this is. This is going to be a bloody bauble in paper, isn't it? This is going to be a card that you choose when to sacrifice it. And they've done the old classic activate 1 thing to sacrifice it. We've got activated abilities. Webcore. Pay attention to this. This is important. When you have a cloaked creature, you can activate the ability whenever you like. When you have a Vanguard, you can activate the ability whenever you like. We have activated abilities in the game. We do not need activate gems anymore. Yeah? They mostly suck. And then the rest of the times when they don't suck, they also suck. So stop doing activate gems. So there's going to be a whole fucking cycle of those, isn't there? It's going to be 5 of them and they're all going to suck. Shit. Now I'm annoyed. Cryo Shatter. What have we got here? Target creature gets -5, -0. Do you know what? Even though I'm never going to ever play a card like this, I've always said I wanted some of these cards that give -X, -0 that are permanent. And honestly, if you've got a shit collection, that's not bad, is it? A 7 mana -5, -0. It's pretty bad. You want to just kill the creature. I mean, fucking Anchor to the Ether is not hard to get. That's uncommon in Origins, you know. But it's not too bad for somebody who's just started their collection. So that's what I've got to say about that. Then, if that creature's... Oh, okay. So, target creature is -5, -0. Then, if that creature's base power is 0 or less, destroy that creature. Yeah, as I say, it's not good enough for me. Everything I just said still stands, basically. In fact, you kind of don't want it to be destroyed, do you? You would kind of like to be able to use it to lock down all of Greg's creatures, wouldn't you? But all this is academic because it's way too low power to actually use when you've got hold of an appreciable number of cards. But it's better than fucking Cryogen Relic. Cut Propulsion. Deal X damage to target opposing creature. How much is X? X is not enough. Whatever it is, it's not it. Oh, it's this one! Somebody showed me this one. Right, this makes no fucking sense to me at all, this, right? So deal X damage to target opposing creature. X is that creature's power. If it has flying, double that damage. What? Who is crying out for this? Why? It's a really complicated effect for a card that doesn't quite kill creatures, does it? So you're nearly killing... In fact, we've had this before. We've had two versions of this before. And I can't remember what either of them are called, yeah? They used to cost 6 mana. One of them was a red card. One of them was a red-white card. Deal damage to target opposing creature equal to their power. Right? So it's a bad version of those cards that were playable, again, sometime around 8 years ago. But why double the amount of damage to the creature if it has flying? That's just baffling to me. Were people crying out for a spell that worked specifically on flyers that had more toughness than they had power? How many flyers can you name that have more toughness than they had power? I had to think about this at the time, and the only one I could come up with was Consecrated Sphinx. I'm sure there are some more, but the only one I could come up with was a card from at least 5 years ago, probably 10, maybe 15. I don't even know. So yeah, the design decision on that is kind of baffling. I don't mind deal X damage to target opposing creature based on its power. Yeah, it used to say, the spell used to say it deals damage equal to its power to itself, didn't it? Or something like that. But it's too expensive at 10 mana. Cyberdrive Awakener. Okie dokie. So 18 mana 4/4 flyer, it's too expensive. While this creature is on the battlefield, your artifact creatures gain flying. Right, well, it is an artifact creature, but it is a flyer anyway. It's giving your other artifact creatures flying. When this creature enters the battlefield, reinforce it X times. Oh, we like this. X is the number of artifact you control, including their reinforcements up to 8. Right, okay, I can see that Johnny's getting a little bit excited by this. So if you control 8 artifacts, well, let's go, the base cost is just the 1, isn't it? If you play this and you've got nothing else in play, presumably it's going to count itself, yeah? So it's going to come into play, it's going to be an 18 mana 8/8, which is kind of low high shit tier, maybe high mid shit tier, you know? It's all right for mastery. But you can have up to 8 artifacts, which could be, you know, what does Hell to Pay generate? Gold tokens, that's what it generates. It could be that. Hell to Pay is just a generally good way of putting a lot of artifacts in play, I think. I think that card's probably going to see a lot of play over the next couple of months. So if you have 8 artifacts, you're going to reinforce this 8 times. So that's 4 9s, 36. That's a 36/36 for 18 mana, which is not bad. I'm not getting excited by it. It's not really big enough, you know, to... you know, we're looking for nice, big, fat creatures at the moment to blow through planar chaos, and a 36/36 is not really big enough to get through an opponent which has, you know, over 300 life. So that's not so good. Shall we read the last bit on the card? Then if this creature has 4 or more reinforcements, the last card in your hand gains full mana. Oh, okay. It does get better as it goes along, this card. It's probably, again, it's probably good enough to get it all the way out of shit tier. Yeah, because like I say, the lowest possible level of it is an 18 mana 8/8, which is already, you know, high shit tier, low high shit tier. So the important thing is just to have some artifacts. And oh, hello, it's gone off my screen. It is there. And if you've got 4 of them, the last card in your hand, now it doesn't draw a card, but it does mean that you are putting the specific last card into your hand that you want to fill full of mana. So I mean, I guess it's okay. I'm not too excited by it, but I guess it's okay. I just don't, you know, I don't yet see a complete rebuild of my standard decks that require me to all of a sudden mean I have loads of artifacts in play, you know? I'm still thinking currently of my standard deck I have at the moment, which is full of lands, you know? It's full of Demolition Field and Swarm Yard and what's the third one? Desert. There you go. That's what I'm thinking of. In fact, I believe the only artifact I'm playing with in my standard deck at the moment is Chimil. So with only 1 artifact in my deck, I'm not very excited by the idea of putting this into a deck. You know, and now the reason I'm only playing 1 artifact is because I don't want to put too much of a randomizer on my Golden Wish, and Golden Wish is very powerful as even more of a draw towards playing Golden Wish because of mystical teachings. So what I'm saying is I don't see a big... They're going all in on artifacts in this set, aren't they? There's a lot of... You need to play a lot of artifacts in this set. But in order for that to break through and to become a top tier, or even a tier 2, or even a tier 3 standard archetype, that's what it's got to be better than. And I'm not seeing anything that's making that better than what we've already got that does not have a lot of artifacts in play. Anyway, one to bear in mind, we've got to bear this whole artifact thing in mind, because we might at any moment come across a card that flips everything on its head, and all of a sudden I'll say, no, I'm going to play a deck full of artifacts now. It is possible. So, not a terrible card. I'm not offended by that existing. The Johnnies will love it. Don't chase it though. Just let it turn up when it turns up. Dark Endurance. Gideon could not get Beyond the Quiet to work, thinks it needs a space ball. Yeah, I think they've done it the wrong way round, haven't they? Beyond the Quiet. Sorry, I was just handed some notes by my lovely assistant. Beyond the Quiet. The way they've worded it, it says exile all creatures, then exile the spacecraft, which would mean that you would need to exile a creature in order to exile the spacecraft, but they seem to have coded it the wrong way round. So you need to exile a spacecraft in order to exile creatures, which make it much worse. And they might not even fix that. I mean, come on, look at it. That is the kind of card they don't fix for years, isn't it? So, sorry. Where were we? Dark Endurance is the new card that we are on. Why do I recognise that spaceship? What does that look like? I don't know. Maybe it'll come to me. Target creature gets +2/+0 and gains prevent damage. Rubbish. He's got flash. Still rubbish. Dauntless Scrapbot. When this creature enters the battlefield, exile all cards from your opponent's graveyard. We need cards, don't we? We need good, reliable cards to exile things from your opponent's graveyard. I personally don't think Kaya is it. Sorry, people. I know Mainloop has said he thinks Kaya is it when it comes to countering Grist. We need a really, really brilliant... We need like a Rakdos that says on it, at the bottom, it says, oh, and by your way, you exile your opponent's graveyard every turn. That's the caliber of card we need to deal with Grist, right? A Rakdos that says that, or a Chimmel that says that, or Mystical Teachings that says that. If that's going to be most of what the card does, if exiling the graveyard is going to be most of what the card does, and let's face it, that's most of what this card does, and the other things that it does are really shit, it's just not good enough. So by all means, give us cards that exile graveyards, but make them really good. Dawnsire, Sunstar, Dreadnought. I like, yeah, I like the style of it. It's good. It's like, I'm getting Star Wars prequels. Yeah? Anyone else getting that? That's what I'm getting from the design of the spacecraft. It seems to be coming out of a massive Death Star thing as well. Station 7. Oh my god, Station 7? Really? Oh, so it doesn't do... Oh, that's just what we want! This is a support that doesn't do anything until you've matched 7 loyalty. Holy fucking shit! Having said that, people are going to like this. Some of you may remember me reviewing Millennium Calendar and saying it was a massive pile of shit. Now, I absolutely stand by my assessment of Millennium Calendar, but I have seen it played against me a lot. It's never come close to killing me, but people obviously enjoy playing it. And as a result, I have to respect the design. It's a shit card that people want to play, and I have to respect that design. And look, here we are again. Station 7, deal 100 damage. Wait, no, I take it all back. Deal 100 damage to target opposing creature. Are you fucking kidding me?
I remember that's 7 swaps, not 7 loyalty.
See, Millennium Calendar, I really should read the cards before I review them, shouldn't I? And this would stop me realising all these things in real time. Millennium Calendar at least kills your opponent. This kills a creature, but only a creature. I mean, we'll get to the rest of the card. Maybe the rest of the card will, when we get to Station 10. And we get to the Charged Dawnsire, Sunstar, thank you, Dreadnought. Maybe that will deal 100 damage to a player. We will see. Now, is 100 damage enough to deal to a creature? I mean, it's not for Station 7, but let's just assume it didn't have Station 7. So I've always said that any finite amount of damage is not enough damage to deal. But maybe 100 damage is approaching enough damage. Yeah? Like, usually, if you look at, like, Pyroclasm, I think Pyroclasm deals 20 damage. And immediately my brain says, that doesn't kill 2 Galters. And 2 Galters is a thing that might happen. Yeah? Because the first Galter might cast a second Galter. Obviously, the second Galter is not going to trigger, but 2 Galters is a thing that might happen. So if you're not dealing 30 damage to a creature, you might find it doesn't deal enough against 2 Galters. Maybe 100 damage is enough. I mean, why doesn't it just kill the creature, though? I mean, this isn't going to kill loot, is it? Who has shield tokens? You know, it's not going to kill anything with prevent damage. It's going to really fuck you up if somebody's playing a Phyrexian Vindicator. I know it's gone out of standard now, but, you know, the card still exists. So let's read the rest of it then. I think we've established that, yes, dealing 100 damage is probably enough damage, but dealing damage is just generally slightly subpar anyway. So, still not as good as just killing something. Station 10, at the beginning of combat on your turn, you may destroy this card. And instead, now I think this is going to be exactly the same card, but it's a 10-10. Let's see. It's a 20-20. Oh, it does though. Look at that. It still deals 100 damage to a creature. I was kind of hoping that it would deal 100 damage to a creature or player when you flipped it. But no, 100 damage to a creature. So, I mean, knock yourselves out, really, Johnnies, if you really fancy playing with this. Just have a 20-20 token. I mean, I don't think that Johnnies give a shit about dealing 100 damage to a creature. Honestly. They would care about having a 2020 in play. Because they're simple people like that. They're simple folk. That seems quite cool, having a 2020 in play. Maybe they might even reinforce it with something, I don't know. But I don't think they would care about dealing 100 damage to a creature. I really don't see why it doesn't deal 100 damage to your opponent, you know. I mean, that might even make Station 7 worth it. I still wouldn't, because it's still going to get blown off the fucking board. It's not like it's got even resilience, you know. It's not indestructible. Still going to get blown off the board long before you get to Station 7. So fuck it. Make it deal 100 damage to your opponent. I don't think that card is for anyone. That's the thing about that. Dawnstrike Vanguard, 14 mana, 4/5, lifelink. We're back in 2016 again. When a creature you control attacks, increase this card's level by 1. At the end of your turn, if this card's level is 3 or more, all your creatures +1/+1, then this card's level becomes 1. Level cards are always shit, aren't they? There's no inherent thing about the level mechanic that means that level cards are always going to be shit. But they always tend to be, don't they? I suppose, right, another round is a level card, isn't it? So there you go. Another round gains a level in your hand, doesn't it? Every turn. And then, so that's an actual level card that actually is really good. I can't deny that another round is a really good card.
I'm playing with Blue Sun Zenith earlier.
But that's stored mana, that's not level. Blue Sun Zenith is not levels. But levels always seem to be bad. I mean, I reckon if you were to make a list, somebody go and do this. Minion, go and do this. Make a list of all... No, you don't have to. All of the level cards, yeah? Put all the good ones on one side and all the bad ones on the other side. And I reckon you'll find at least 95% of them are garbage. Which, you know, fair enough. I mean, that's par for the course with literally any mechanic. Most mechanics are 100% garbage, in fact. But it's weird because it's not inherently a bad mechanic level. It just always gets used badly. And this isn't even a web core problem. You know, I don't think Hibernum had it, but Octagon certainly had real difficulty making a good level card. Sort yourselves out. When this support enters the board, deal 4 damage to target creature. Right, that's not enough, and it's too expensive. Station 4, beginning of combat on your turn, you may destroy this card. Right, this is going to be like a 4/4 that deals 4 damage to target creature when it comes into play. It's an 8/8 that deals 4 damage to target creature. I mean, these station cards are at least bigger than I'm giving them credit for, aren't they? But Station 4 is still terrible. It's 4 turns. Well, you've got to remember, Station, that's 4 turns that not only have you had to have a loyalty swap, but you've foregone the opportunity to make the best move on the board and gain mana. And I've learnt, apparently, I think this is true this week, that if you make a loyalty swap and a coloured swap at the same time, that doesn't even advance your station. That's probably a bug. But again, it's the type of bug that doesn't get fixed. So, yeah, station's bad. And the fact that the tokens are all bigger than I think they're going to be before I look at them doesn't really help them. How are we doing? Decode transmissions. Well, got a little bit longer. Draw 2 cards, then your opponent loses 2 life. 7 mana is too much for that. Now, 4 mana. We're looking at 4 mana, aren't we? What's the one in Origins? Costs 4 mana, and you draw 2 cards, and you lose 2 life. I found myself playing that with Grist. This is the thing. Because I find, Grist does have a little bit of a problem, like, with cards. I mean, mostly you don't give a shit with Grist. He's got a little bit of a problem with cards because you're pulling so many creatures out of the graveyard. But Read the Bones, that's what it's called. Yes, I found myself playing Read the Bones in Grist just because those corrupt gems are really good in Grist, and I end up drawing a bunch of extra cards. Grist is too good. In conclusion, Grist is too good. There you go. So that's not a good enough card. Depressurize. Target creature gets -3/-0 until end of turn. Oh, good. Well, I mean, it's important that the creature kill spell that's black is worse than the creature kill spell that's blue, isn't it? It's exactly the same, apart from Flash. In it. Where was it? There you go. Cryo Shatter. -5, -0 permanently for 7 mana. And -3, -0 until end of turn for 5 mana. I mean, this is probably an interesting thing that they're doing in paper. Yeah? Because -3, -0, -5, -0. Those are big numbers in paper. But not in Magic Puzzle Quest. Depth Shaker Titan. I think this was a spoiled card. My memory is screaming at me that it's seen this artwork before, so. Although maybe that was a fever dream. When this creature enters the battlefield, create a robot token. That's a 2/2. So we've got an 18 mana, 5/5 and a 2/2. Reinforce those tokens X times. X is the number of artifact cards you control. Then your robot creatures gain haste and trample. So honestly, this is very simple to that guy. We didn't mind too much before. Obviously, this one has to be better because it's blue. So this is making basically a bunch of 4/4s, putting them on the same stack. This is giving you a 5/5 and a bunch of 2/2s, which is kind of worse, isn't it? I mean, who really cares about this random 5/5 body? You know, even if the other one gets shot and you get left with a 5/5, you're like, well, I've only got a 5/5. So it doesn't make much difference. So the other one's better, really. I mean, especially better when you throw in the full mana on the card. But you are getting haste and trample. There's no limit on the number of artifact cards. There was a limit on the number of reinforcements that the blue one could give you. So, you know, okay, maybe this is going to make 30 robot tokens, and then you're going to hit your opponent in the face for 60 haste damage. I very much doubt it, so I don't like it. I'm still looking for... What we need is something to sprog thousands of tokens into play. And I mean, it's still just Hell to Pay, really, isn't it, at the moment? How many is Hell to Pay? Hell to Pay is giving you about 7, isn't it? So if I shoot Greg with a Hell to Pay, I get 7 artifact tokens. Then I play this. That's a 14/14 haste creature. No, that's not big enough, is it? Return the first creature your opponent controls to its owner's hand. Right. Again, it's very 2016. Wouldn't have minded this in 2016. Much too late for that now. We would have said things back in the day. We would have said things like, "Ooh, not only has it got flash, but it's untargeted as well." Those are really good things to have. No, I'm sorry, we've got Requisition Raid now. I don't give a flying shit about Desculpting Blast. If it's your opponent's turn, create a drone token. Ooh, look at flying 2/2. Yeah, I mean, that's a really good Origins card. We move on. Devastating Onslaught. Again, see, I don't know which artwork I prefer there. I don't know what's going on there quite. Somebody appears to be being chased by dinosaur space piranhas in that one. And now I've got lovely kind of rainbow effects here. I've no idea what's going on that card. I just like the rainbow effects. Reinforce target non-token artifact you control 3 times until end of turn. Then that creature gains haste. I mean, that's not exciting. What am I imagining casting? I'm imagining casting that on a Cityscape leveler. Yeah? So it's an 8/8. And I make it up to a 32/32 and it gains haste. For 16 mana.
Until end of turn.
Until end of turn. So we're not excited by that, are we? Sorry. Diplomatic Relations. Target creature gets... Oh, I mean, this is clearly going to be a million times worse than this, isn't it? +2/+1 and gains vigilance till the beginning of your next turn. Then deal damage equal to that creature's power to the first opposing creature. Yeah, just garbage, isn't it? Make it cost 11. When I don't know, I wouldn't fix it. Just make it cost. Make everything cost 11 if it's going to be bad. And then stop printing bad cards. Actually, no, don't make everything cost 11. I mean, we probably could, because it will take too long going through bad cards for Colours of Magic if you make them all cost 11. So I've completely changed my mind. Don't do that. Dock Worker Drone. That's very sleek, isn't it? When this creature enters the battlefield, this creature gets +1/+1. When this creature dies, your first creature gets +1. Was just rubbish. Drill Too Deep. Increase the station value of your cards on the board by 1. 1! Station 7, that Station 7 card, you're only going to have to do 6 loyalty matches now by swap. This increases it by 1 for the low cost of 12 mana. Do you know what you can't gain when you're doing station? You can't gain mana, can you? Because you're going to have to get loyalty swaps. This is just the worst thing. Destroy a random opposing artifact. No, you can't put that sweetener on the end and expect me to like it. No, too station based, too rubbish. I would a million times over prefer a Demolish to that. And Demolish is not a good card because 1-for-1s are not good enough anymore. When this creature, this Drix Wizard, enters the battlefield, your first creature gets +2/+1. So this is a 5/3 for A, mid-shit tier. At the beginning of your turn, buffed creatures gain trample. Yeah, low mid-shit tier. Dual Sun. There are many worse cards than that to be mastering. Dual Sun Adepts. 8 mana, 2/2 double strike. Yeah, that's very mid-shit tier as well, isn't it? Activate 1 white. Your creatures, all your creatures, but it's only 1 white. So, yeah, still kind of low mid-shit tier. Dual Sun Technique. Target creature you control gains double strike. If that creature was buffed, draw a card. That's not enough, is it? That's definitely not enough. When this creature enters the board, when this support enters the board, I'm going mad there. Target creature gets -3/-3 until end of turn. Rubbish. This is a food, apparently. It's a dubious delicacy. Right, I see. Is it a big insect thing? I can't tell what it is. Looks like a big insect thing. When this support is destroyed, your opponent loses 3 life and you gain 3 life. I mean, it's a terrible creature kill spell. We hate it. Diadrene Synthesis Amalgam. Do you know what that reminds me of? Let's have a look at this. Yeah, that reminds me of the big modern art sculpture in the World's End. I really like the World's End. Anyone seen the World's End? No, it's, you know, people don't think it's the best movie out of the Cornetto trilogy, but it's my favourite one. At least it probably is. I quite like Hot Fuzz as well. But anyway, that's what it reminds me of, even though it doesn't look a whole lot like it. Artifact Construct, 18 mana 0/1. This creature gets +X/+X when it enters the battlefield, which is good. X is the number of green and white gems on the board divided by 2, rounded down, which is about 7, isn't it? So this is an 18 mana 7/8. We're still not excited. When this creature attacks, you may draw a card. Then this creature gets -2/-2. The card does not get any mana in it. We don't care. Edge Rover. When this creature dies, which it is going to do fairly soon because it is a 2/2 with reach, you get 2 lander tokens. Right. Yes, indeed. Ooh is correct. Elegy Acolyte. What am I getting from that? I'm getting something from that artwork. I'm getting some. No, can't think what it is. 10 mana 4/4 lifelink. Okay. I mean, that could be okay if some of this text is going to be good. Yeah, that's a good basis for a card. But that can't be the whole card. So we've got, when a creature you control deals combat damage to your opponent's planeswalker, draw a card. So this is like, already, this is a very, very good Jessian Thief or Sigilled Starfish, which is not good enough in 2025. But there's more. Then you lose 1 life. Right, that's not really anything, is it? Because it's already getting that life back with the lifelink. So that's not really anything. At the end of your turn, if a creature's support was destroyed or a warp effect was triggered, create a robot token. Right. So we're not interested, are we? Is that good enough to play in? No. The reason why we play Warden of the Something Sky, what's it called? Warden of the Something Sky in Colours of Magic is because it draws cards, right? And it draws cards faster than this. We like the fact that this draws cards. Yeah, we don't mind the fact this is a lifelink creature that draws cards in Colours of Magic. This is slower to do it, though. I mean, it doesn't have haste. Technically, if you've already got a creature in play, and you put this in play, the creature that's already in play is going to draw cards for you in Colours of Magic. It's less important that you don't gain mana in Colours of Magic, obviously, because you can't have mana in Colours of Magic. But Warden of the Something Sky, thank you, Warden of the Something Sky draws cards faster than it. It doesn't draw off itself, I don't think, does it? Maybe, I can't even remember. But, I mean, you can certainly... I think it does draw a card off it. Doesn't it draw off creatures and supports? Yeah, there are certainly plenty of times where I've played it and then followed it up by a support. Warden of the Inner Sky. There we go. When you cast a support or creature card, draw a card. That's what Warden of the Inner Sky does. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it draws off itself. It draws off the second card you play in Colours of Magic as well, because of course you're playing 2 cards a turn. So even though Warden of the Inner Sky, you know, I know people are down on it because it dies, but everything dies in Colours of Magic. The important thing about Warden is it draws. This doesn't draw as well. So by all means, try it in Colours of Magic. But as I say, when it comes to draw, it's a little bit slower. Needed to be better. There you go. You see? We've had all these fucking 13 mana, don't quite kill a creature cards. And here we go. 7 mana, actually kill a creature. Yeah? Again, it's a 1-for-1. It's not good enough in the current standard format. But why are we getting all of these other cards that don't quite kill a creature for more than 7 mana when they're just going to make one of these? Make some more like that. We wouldn't mind, Webcore. Make 5 of these. Make 5 identical versions of this card. Give them all different names. We won't mind because we'll master them all. We'll master one, and then we'll swap in a different one that does exactly the same thing and master that. We won't even care that it's got a different name. We'll be quite happy to have 5 different cards that are all exactly the same. You will have saved yourselves some coding time. Emergency eject. Destroy an opposing creature. Look, 7 mana. Destroy an opposing creature. Or support with the greatest mana value at random. That's all right, isn't it? Now this is like, what's that really terrible? Is it called Get Lost? That really terrible white removal spell that only works once. Because when it works, yeah, when you destroy a creature with it, I think it's called Get Lost. And when it puts artifacts into play, it puts a couple of token supports into play. And then the next time you cast it, it always hits those token supports. I think they changed it somehow, but it's still rubbish. But this isn't going to do that. It's going to give your opponent a lander. Yeah, Get Lost is the one. 2 map tokens. That's right, you see. You cast it, it destroys an opposing random artifact support. And if it doesn't, it kills the support. And if it doesn't, it kills a creature. But it creates maps, which means it works really well once, but the second time, it kills one of the map tokens that you created the first time. So this is similar to that. It's giving away a thing, it's giving away a lander token, but it's not going to hit the lander token because it's going to hit the thing with the greatest mana value. I mean, you'd almost prefer it though, just to be another. What's the thing that puts a creature into play that we all play that we like when you have to kill your opposing creatures? What's that one called?
Stroke of Midnight.
Stroke of Midnight. Yeah, you'd kind of prefer it to be a Stroke of Midnight, wouldn't you? And put a creature in play. As such, it's decent. It's a decent 1-for-1, but 1-for-1s generally aren't good enough in standard anymore. when this artifact robot soldier, I think we're coming to the end of the night. It's getting up for past. Maybe we'll do this card, maybe even the next card for a laugh. And then I'm going to go and have a look at the Elite Pack, actually, just because I know it's kind of cheating, but I want to know what's in the Elite Pack before it rotates out this weekend for my own benefit. So, and that should allow us to finish on a high note. We'll have a look through 10 or so Mythics and Masterpieces, and maybe one of them won't suck. So, Emissary Escort looks like it sucks, doesn't it? When this creature enters the battlefield, it gets +X+0. X is the highest mana cost between artifact supports you control. Oh, do you know, I like that a lot more than the number of artifacts you've got in play. Because, of course, what I'm imagining is my deck. I've got Chimil, yeah? And I'm playing this 5 mana card, and I'm getting a 17/4 creature. Yeah, that sounds quite good for 17 for 5 mana. Not for 17 mana, but for 5 mana. But even then, even in that case, it's not at a high shit tier, is it? That's the thing. So I prefer this highest mana cost mechanic and would like to see it on other cards more than the number of artifacts you have in play. But this here is basically just high shit tier. And in fact, you're going to have to actually put some thought into this when you're mastering it, because, there's every chance. Oh no, is it always going to be a 5/4? No, artifact supports, right? Yeah. They should have just made it the highest mana cost of any artifact, couldn't you? So it looked at itself and was 5/4 at a minimum, and that would have made it proper high shit tier. But as it stands, maybe mid-high shit tier. Still probably high shit tier. Somewhere in high shit tier. Right, let's do Emissary Escort to finish off. Oh, wait a second. I thought the alt art cards came first. Yeah, look. Here the alt art cards come in first. And here, the alt art cards come after it. That's very strange. That threw me completely, that did. And there, look, see, that's what got me. I saw the alt art card on the edge of the screen and I thought, well, that's going to be a new card. But no, it was the same thing. Well, I'm going to go on to the next card anyway then. But this definitely is, because we don't want to look at what bloody Eumidian Terrabotanist does. Now, that's just going to really depress us if we have to read what that does, because it's bad. Mind you, this is bad because it says station on it. 9 mana. Looks pretty badass, doesn't it? This has definitely got, biblically accurate angel vibes, hasn't it? With the little eyes there. When your opponent discards a card from their hand, your opponent loses 3 life. Is that it? That's what it does before station 3. Oh, right, okay. So, I should be able to guess what it does, right? It's station 3. Now, is that going to be an 8/8? Because 8/8 is the random amount that station usually is. Or perhaps it's twice the station value. Is it going to be a 6/6? I'm going to guess 8/8. I'm going to guess that this token is going to be an 8/8 that does the same thing. When your opponent discards a card, your opponent loses 3 life. I mean, it doesn't really matter because... Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Well, I was completely wrong. It's a 3/10. Oh, I see. Right, it's a 3/10, but when it attacks, your opponent discards a card. Right. Well, that's brilliant, isn't it? Because that's going to combo with this that it's just destroyed when it came into play. So that's nice, isn't it? Yeah? You'll be like, well, I'll put this in play and it doesn't do anything. Yeah? But it will as soon as I put this into play. But then this blows up this, so it still doesn't combo with it. Hooray! There are cards already that make your opponent discard a card every turn. I can think of 2. There's a mythic in the last set that I spent far too many jewels collecting. I want to say Dim Rover, something or other, that makes your opponent discard a card every turn. There's an uncommon that makes your opponent discard a card every turn that people play a lot, and so do I, in the Silver Jewel. So there's really no reason to get to have a station 3 version of a card that makes your opponent discard a card every turn, and 3 damage sucks, doesn't it? So that's bad. Right, so we're going to head off now into, we're in the closing stages for EOE. Observant people might see at the top of the screen I have 4,820 crystals. Until recently, I had nearly 10,000, but I went mad in the last set and decided before the new Ravnica event. No, it wasn't Ravnica, was it? What was it? Yes, it was. Guardian Project? Was the new event Guardian Project? I went mad and decided I'd like to buy the entire Elite pack. So I did, and I'm regretting it. Never spend your resources, people. So I'm not going to go through all the rares. That's silly. So we're going to go through, yeah, fuck it, we'll go through all of these. So we've seen Ancient Tomb, we've seen Depth Shaker Titan. Tell you what, let's do it the other way around. Let's do the Mythics first. We've seen Cosmogoyf, Onslaught. So let's do the Mythics first and then move up to the Masterpieces at the end. At the beginning of your turn, convert 3 gems to green gems. Yeah, I think there's a cycle of these, isn't there? We talked about one of them already. It's an expensive land, and we don't like expensive lands. And it's a station card, and we hate station, so we don't like that. Famished World Sire. 15/3/3 ward. When this creature enters the battlefield or attacks, well, that's a clause that we like. We love enters the battlefield or attacks. That's good. Fetch the first land card from your library. Right, you're not going to put it into play at all? No? Okay. Then all land supports lose 1 shield. That's very weird, isn't it? Why would I want all land supports? Obviously, I want Greg's land supports to lose 1 shield. But like if I'm fetching lands with this very card, why would I want all of those to lose 1 shield as well? That's just very weird. I mean, that's not Overlord of the whatever the green one was called, is it? Anyone remember that in Duskmorn? It didn't see a lot of play, but that was mostly because, you know, Duskmorn was only around for 5 minutes and then we're on to the next set. But, you know, that was a big creature that generated a bunch of lands into play, and this is kind of not. This is kind of, the two things are at odds, fetching lands and sucking the life out of them. So, enter the battlefield or attacks, fetch a land, don't put it into play. All land spells lose 1 shield. When a land card is destroyed, this creature gets +3/+3, then gain 6 mana. I mean, it's unreliable if you're relying on it to destroy Greg's lands. Again, if you want to build it for, there may be a particular PvP deck you can build it for. I can never be asked. I'd rather just play with good cards, thank you very much. And then if you're fetching your own lands, I mean, no, I don't want to shoot my own lands slowly in order to get +3/+3 and gain 6 mana. There are some very good words written on that card, but the whole package is deeply underwhelming. Does it deserve to be high shit tier? Sure, I expect it does, doesn't it? Yeah, you only have to put a land in your deck, you know, and it's gonna eat that land. Well, in fact, it won't take long before it's getting +3/+3 every turn. If you've only got 1 land in the deck, it's going to basically be getting +3/+3 every turn and generating 6 mana every turn. So yeah, it deserves to be high shit tier, but I don't think it breaks out of shit tier. Don't like it. Mightform Harmonizer. Landfall. Anyone remember Landfall? It's a long time ago, isn't it? 15 mana 4/4. This creature gets +4/+4 and +4/+4 for each of its reinforcements. Permanently. Right. But it's not reinforcing itself, so it's not doubling up in power. Yeah? It kind of looked like that to start off with, but it's a 4/4, you get a landfall, it becomes 8/8. You get another landfall, it becomes 12/12. Not really. I mean, it doesn't have haste, does it? Because we're all picturing doing loopity-loopity-loop, aren't we, with Galters and Tempt with Discovery. And why do we need another large creature in that deck? You know, we're already doing crazy things. It is a large body. You've got to respect that, and it goes into high shit tier. Because you can get landfalls even without loopity-loopity-loop. But yeah. Again, I'm not. I'm inclined to say it's a bit better than Famished Worldsire, which might be foolish to say because that thing is at least gaining you some mana. But I'm inclined to say it's a little better than that. But it's still, I'm not sure it's got a. It's pretty high shit tier, but I'm not sure it breaks out of that. Bet Goz loves it. Hi Goz. The right hand. The right hand. This is a jellyfish advisor. Of course it is. It's a flying jellyfish. Because they all fly. We know that about jellyfish. At the beginning of your turn, draw a card. Right. I see the word mana coming. Then the first artifact card in your hand gains X mana. X is the number of artifact cards you control. Right, that's not really enough, is it? It's not an artifact itself. It's not really enough. Yeah? You're drawing a card. I mean, even if you were drawing a card and putting 7 mana into it every single turn, that still wouldn't be good enough, would it? That's the thing in today's climate of mana filler givers. And it's not doing that. It's only putting mana into the artifact cards. You need a lot of artifacts to generate a lot of mana. So I'm going to go ahead and call that crap. Again, remember, you know, we're still looking for the killer app that means that we go, all of a sudden we go, right, I'm going to completely rebuild my standard deck and cram it full of artifacts. We have not seen it yet. I think probably the best thing we've seen is that that first blue masterpiece guy, probably. And it's going to take a lot more than that to want me to go all in on the artifacts. Here we go. Here's another expensive land. Station 6. Well, it's good job that this isn't Station 4, because this is such a powerful ability. Can you imagine if this was Station 4? People would be breaking this all over the shop, wouldn't they? When a creature dies, draw a card and don't put any mana in it. That would be fucking ridiculous if that was Station 4. Thank you for making it Station 6, Webcore. You really dodged a bullet there with that one. You might want to have a look at that Pinnacle Emissary, though. Yeah? Dominion Bracelet. Right. Is that supposed to be like some Infinity Gauntlet reference? I'm picking up Infinity. It doesn't look like the Infinity Gauntlet, does it? But I'm picking up a bit of Infinity Gauntlet vibes. And that guy definitely looks like a bit of a Jack Kirby type of guy, doesn't he? Let's see what we've got. 18 mana, artifact equipment. At the beginning of combat on your turn, your first creature gets +1/+1. At the end of your turn, if your first creature has 25 power, that's a lot. That seems like way too much. But shteev, that's 2 Galters. Yeah, it is 2 Galters, but like that's a thing you want to be worried about Greg doing. That's not a thing you want to count on yourself getting all the time, is it? You know, Grist can do it, but I don't know. Like if you put an 8/8 creature into play, it's not going to be a 25/25 for ages. So in fact, basically, 2 Galters is pretty much going to be the only way you're going to trigger that. But Grist can do it, so let us carry on reading it. Exile this support. Then decrease all coloured mana bonuses of your opponent's Planeswalker by 10. Are you ready for this? until the beginning of your next turn. I mean, fuck off. That's what you put 2 Galters in play for. Yeah? You put 2 Galters in play for that. And is that going to be the thing that kills Greg? The fact that he can't cast anything on his next turn? Or is it the fact that you've got 2 Galters in play? Yeah? Do you see? What a piece of shit. 0 point ballad. I like that. That's a concept. I like that. 0 point ballad. That's nice. Destroy all opposing creatures. Well, that's a very good start. We're not destroying supports. You know, we like one-sided sweeps. This is where we are now. This is why 1-for-1 removal isn't any good anymore. Because, you know, I bang on about Requisition Raid all the time, but we also have Chaos Warp. You know, we have... oh god, I can't even remember what it's called. Deem Inferior, that's the blue one. You know? We like one-sided sweeps, and black hasn't really had one until now. It had Blasphemous Edict, but that relied on having a load of cards in the graveyard. So it wasn't a particularly great one. This one looks like it's a one-sided black sweep, and there's more. You lose X life, or we don't like that. X is the highest mana cost. Oh, it looks like it's getting better. Okay, we're sweeping Greg's creatures. You lose X life. X is the highest mana cost between cards destroyed. Right? So I'm sorry to have to tell you that might be 25 for a Galter. But I'll live with that, because if it is 25 for a Galter, if X is 18 or more, put that card into play under your control. I mean, you would really like that to be a Galter, when you really don't mind losing 25 life in order to wipe Greg's board, have a Galter, have it trigger, have all that mana. That is a very decent card. As I say, black has not, I don't believe, had a really good one-sided sweep till now. It's had some decent sweeps. Had some decent whole Wrath of Gods effect. There was a good plotted one that I liked. So that's pretty good. Obviously I don't like the fact that it doesn't kill supports, you know. My favourite, Requisition Raid, is still my favourite. I would still probably rather play Chaos Warp than this. But that is a good card, and I'll be happy to get hold of it. I'm not going to call it a chase card, though. Sorry. But it's a good card. We like that. If we ended the card on that tonight, we'd be happy, wouldn't we? Let's go and have a look at a few masterpieces. In Spirit, Flagship Vessel. While there's support on the board, your artifact creatures gain hexproof. Right. Station 2. Now, Station 2, that's reasonably low, isn't it? I can't remember if I was having this discussion on the stream or just with people outside of the stream. But we decided that Station 1 is a good number, and that Station 2 is probably already too high. Yeah, I would not mind seeing something with Station 1, you know? A permanent that comes into play, and when you get a single loyalty swap, it powers up. That doesn't seem too bad to me. It still seems quite bad to me. Station 1 or 2 max, says Goz. Yeah, absolutely, Goz. Absolutely. Hello, Goz, by the way. Yeah, so we'll read this card, because exactly. We think Station 2 is probably too high, but definitely the highest it should ever go. We're not going to go to Station 4 at the bottom of this card. At the beginning of combat on your turn, your creatures get +1/+1, all of them. Then your supports gain 1 shield. This effect can affect Vanguard supports. I mean, there's quite a lot going on there. You know, it's doing all of your creatures. It's doing them permanently. It's a very small effect, though. It's doing all of your supports. It makes them better. It makes them more resilient. It affects Vanguards, which of course is good for Vanguards. They love gaining shields because it gets them closer to those stupidly high numbers that Webcore do insist on putting on their ultimates on Vanguards these days. I mean, we've not had a really good Vanguard for quite some time, have we? So, you know, there's stuff going on Station 2, but I'm afraid it's not good enough. And then Station 4, the number's too high, isn't it? This is presumably going to do the same thing. Shall we guess what the power and toughness of this card is? Would you all like to join in at home? What do you think the power and toughness of this is going to be? I mean, I have to say 8-8. Yeah? Because the last one was a Station 3 and it was a 310. But I think it was weird numbers because it was a Station 3. I think Station 4s are going to be 8-8. So I'm going to go with 8-8. Here we go. Are we ready? 5-5. It makes no sense, does it? It's a white, blue, and red card, which is strange. Vigilance legendary. Okay. When the support is on the board, your artifact creatures. So it basically just does exactly the same thing. So in fact, it's easier to shoot. When you get Station 4, this is just the same card, but it's easier to kill because it's a creature. So maybe we like the fact that it's Station 4 because it makes it worse. I mean, technically speaking, you get a body that can attack. But I mean, this is not a masterpiece, isn't it? If this was a common, you'd go, well, that's quite powerful for a common, wouldn't you? With +1/+1 to all your creatures every turn, and a shield on everything, but not a masterpiece. And I definitely don't think it makes the cut in a 10-card deck. Scouring Swarm. Or can this be some kind of evil removal card, please? No, it's a creature. Damn, no, it definitely can't. When a support card is destroyed, this is a 12-mana 1/1. Support card is destroyed or loses a reinforcement, reinforce this creature. It's a 1/1. We're not excited by that. Then, if a land card was destroyed, they really think that that's a good thing to do, don't they? They really think that a 1/1 becoming a 2/2 and then a 3/3, if it happens to be a land, it doesn't even blow up the support itself. It's just if the support happens to be destroyed. Are landers lands? I don't think landers are lands, are they? I think they're artifacts. I'm only mentioning that because I know landers blow themselves up, don't they? They slowly blow themselves up. This is just bad. At the beginning of each player's turn. Right, okay, here we go. It does actually kill supports. What it doesn't do is kill them very quickly, and what it doesn't do is get very large. So, at the beginning of each player's turn, each of that player's supports lose 2 shield. So it kills your supports as well. So it's a tiny, tiny creature that kills Greg's supports very slowly, and ironically kills your own supports too quickly. So, I mean, it's shit, isn't it? It's shit. Does it get to be high shit? I suppose it gets to be high shit tier, but it shouldn't be. It doesn't deserve to be high shit tier. But I would feel mean making it high mid shit tier. I mean, that's just terrible, isn't it? But it's bad. Isn't it? Isn't it bad? What kind of deck would you put that in? A deck without supports. What the hell kind of deck plays without supports? No decks play without support. Whenever you get an event and you're not allowed to play supports for the objective, your deck is demonstrably worse in every way, isn't it? So you're never going to choose not to put supports in your deck just so you can play with this thing. This is like the worst version of Huntmaster of the Fells they could possibly have ever made. Well, I suppose the advantage this has over Huntmaster of the Fells is that this doesn't complete your level objectives too quickly. Because this, frankly, really doesn't help you win the game. What a piece of shit. Last one for the night, peeps. Universal Surveillance. I think this might have been spoiled. This rings a bell. At the beginning of your turn, if this card is in your hand, reduce its cost by X until end of turn. Now, I would prefer reduce its cost by X. Do you know what I mean? And that way, every turn it's sat in your hand, it would slowly get cheaper and cheaper until eventually it costs naught. That would be better. Reduce its cost by X until end of turn. X is the number of artifact cards you control, including the reinforcements. Okay, so we're casting a Hell to Pay. We're putting 7 artifacts into play. This is literally the only example I can think of sprogging a load of artifacts into play. Thopter Spy Network, I suppose. Yeah, that would do it. But I mean, that's slow by today's standards. What's a good way of putting loads and loads of Thopters into play?
Hang on back walk.
Yeah, it's still a bit slow. Still a bit slow and very expensive. So we're casting Hell to Pay because it's all we can think of. And that makes this cost. And that's not very good to do, is it, Hell to Pay? It's not a brilliant card. I know people like it, but it's not a brilliant card. So that deals like 7 damage, or however much it deals. 10 damage, whatever. And it makes this cost like 9 mana. But the rest of the time, it's going to cost 16 mana. Or maybe like 14 mana. In a completely average game where you haven't tried to reduce its cost, maybe it comes down to like 14 or 13. And if you have tried to reduce its cost, I don't think it gets down much below 8. But then we get to the important bit. Here we go. Gain 20 mana. That's a nice number, isn't it? Then if you have less than 6 cards in your hand, draw cards equal to the difference. I do remember discussing this with Zibva because we don't understand why this just doesn't say draw 6 cards. Yeah? I mean, it's a well-defined mechanic in the game that if you're told to draw a card and you can't draw a card, then nothing happens. So it should just say gain 20 mana, draw 6 cards. But they're catching Octagon disease, aren't they? Webcore are catching Octagon disease, and they're obviously getting paid by the word. So that's what it says anyway. It says gain 20 mana, draw 6 cards for 16 mana. Now, one thing I noticed is that it gains the mana first and then draws the cards. So it's not like you're drawing 6 cards and then putting 20 mana into them. You have to put the mana into the cards you already have in your hand, and then that reduces the number of cards because they're already in your hand that this is going to draw. We don't like that. One of the things we like about, time reversal, which admittedly I don't even really play anymore, but it draws a bunch of cards and puts a bunch of mana into them. We like Reigns of Power because it draws a bunch of cards and starts piling that mana. It's like 18 mana you get for a Reigns of Power. It's 3 for 3. Is it 4 per card? Maybe it's 4 per card, 24 mana. Is this like a shit Reigns of Power? Is that what we've discovered? Is this a shit Reigns of Power? I mean, technically it might cost a little less to cast with the artifact cards thing. So I'm not excited. I don't know. I mean, we don't have Reigns of Power in Standard. So, I mean, this is not going to earn its spot in the Peer Servant deck. But 20 mana, 16 mana, you pay 16, you gain 20. That's a net gain of 4. That sucks. You're going to need a bunch of artifacts to get that up to like 8 or 9, a net gain of 8 or 9 mana. I hate it. Guys, what do you think? I don't like it at all. There's a certain amount of power here, but I don't know. I don't like it. I don't think there's enough. 20 mana sounds great until you realise you've got to subtract the cost of the card from it. I don't know. I can't really get my head around how it fits into, like, the Loop Hero deck with Phenomenon Investigators, and Genesis Wave and all of that stuff. Maybe it fits into there, does it? Because gaining 20 mana... Well, you see, no, not even then. Gaining 20 mana, that is going to cast a Phenomenon Investigators, and then that mana is going to overflow into the next card. I don't think you can cast 2 cards in that deck, though, with 20 mana, so I don't think it helps you. Mostly that 20 mana is going to cast 1 card in that deck. And some of the cards it's not even going to cast. 20 mana is not going to cast Attempt with Discovery. So I don't think it's good enough to go into the Loop Hero deck. I don't like it. See what you think, people. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I don't like it. No. Interesting. I guess it's not, because I've had to sit here and think about it for a while. I'm not too offended by its existence. But no, I don't think it's worthy of a spot anywhere. Interesting. Well, we found some things, didn't we? Did we find a thing? Well, we certainly didn't find a thing. We found a thing down the end here, didn't we? Did we find a thing? Yeah, we found 0 Point Ballad. We found that one thing. Am I going to chase this in this business? Well, no, I'm not. And the reason I'm not is because I've only got 4,820 crystals now, as opposed to the 9,000 and something that I used to have that I foolishly spent on a load of shit cards. So I'm not going to get a load more shit cards. Just get one other card that isn't even as good as Requisition Raid. Thank you everyone for being in tonight. I wasn't intending to go on quite that long. Blimey. It's nearly 11 o'clock. But I don't mind doing it. We will see you again for part 3. Part 3 will not be at the weekend. I mean, come on, there's a coalition event. We're all going to be playing that. Do we know what coalition event it is?
Yeah.
Can't remember. So I'm going to say... What, sorry?
Battle for the Crown.
Battle for the Crown. Okay, that's what we're playing this weekend. So no part 3 EOE this weekend. So part 3 will be Monday or Tuesday, most likely. Look out for it. Thank you for being in, everybody. It seems like we had a bunch of people in tonight. I'm sure we will have 2 more parts of this because didn't we only get as far as like F or something in the alphabetical list? I'm pretty sure we can squeeze 2 more parts of this set review. So we love you all. We appreciate you being in. And we will see you on Monday night. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye-bye.